For decades, Lockheed Martin has pushed aviation to uncharted heights. Working in the shadows, the Skunk Works branch has developed airplanes that are so advanced, dangerous, and clandestine that only a select few are aware of their existence. Lockheed Martin is preparing to shock the world once more with its latest innovation. There is an airplane that can travel faster than lightning. Building on the legacy of previous marvels like the SR-71 Blackbird, this new creation represents a quantum leap forward, featuring cutting-edge advances in propulsion, thermal management, and stealth capabilities. So, how fast and far has Lockheed Martin pushed the boundaries of hypersonic technology this time? Join us as we unveil the US's top-secret hypersonic aircraft capable of reaching Mach 10. Years after the SR-71's retirement, there was a significant gap in surveillance coverage between satellites, crewed aircraft, and unmanned aerial vehicles employed for intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and strike operations. This lapse gave rise to anti-satellite weapons, anti-access, and area denial efforts, and counter-stealth technology. To remedy this, the USAF settled on a high-speed aircraft capable of entering protected airspace, gathering intelligence, and easily destroying a target. The emphasis on speed represents a significant improvement over stealth, as shown in fifth-generation jet fighter projects and predicted drone developments. In 2007, there were discussions regarding a new plane to replace the Blackbird, one that was extremely fast. The U.S. Air Force requested that Lockheed develop a plane capable of exceeding Mach 6, or more than 4,600 mph, and flying across the country at high altitudes. They hoped to show it off in 2020, but that sounded overly optimistic. Then, in 2013, the SR-72 made headlines again. Lockheed's Skunk Works team provided Aviation Week and Space Technology with some confidential information. People became so fascinated that the servers crashed. Cyber attacks are not the only source of public curiosity. The Skunk Works team stated that their goal was to create a plane capable of extraordinary intelligence and surveillance work. It would soar into hostile territory at a speed of Mach 6, high and swift. This would make it hard for planes to catch or outmaneuver it, unlike drones. The SR-72 could also hit targets before they knew they were there, or it could conceal from rapid spy planes by moving back a bit. From 2003 to 2006, Lockheed worked on a DARPA effort to develop a super-fast experimental vehicle known as the HTV-2. It may fly at Mach 20 and test technology that would let the US reach any target in the world in under an hour. This concept was expanded with the implementation of the Quick Global Strike Strategy. Lockheed worked hard on the HTV-2, using strong materials to ensure that critical components did not shatter due to their proximity to the surface. They avoided using normal steel since it melted at high temperatures. The intention was to create a new version, the HTV-3X or Black Swift, by 2025. It would be a reusable, ultra-fast drone taking off from a standard runway. It could carry over 12,000 pounds of cargo and hit targets far away in less than 2 hours. However, following tests in 2010 and 2011, DARPA canceled the experiment because it lacked sufficient data. Despite the cancellation of the HTV-3X in 2008, the team continued to work on the HTV-2 until 2014, leveraging the technology to develop new tools and processes for the development of ultra-fast shells. In 2013, Skunk Works revealed some of its big plans for Aviation Week. They collaborated with Aerojet Rocketdyne for over 7 years to develop a method for connecting a completed hypersonic engine with a scramjet to propel a plane from quick to unquestionably fast, like Mach 6. They took the HTV-3X concept but enhanced it by addressing a crucial issue, the high-speed gas turbine engine. The Skunk Works team faced a challenging task in designing an engine for planes that could fly at varying speeds. It's akin to creating a Swiss Army knife for different sections of the journey. In 2017, a Lockheed Martin executive discussed how they had made significant developments in ultra-fast flight technology. They, together with DARPA and others, are striving to add additional capabilities to U.S. combat jets and future projects. The specifics are unknown, but the key to the SR-72's development is the combination of various engine types and technology for super-fast flying. The United States is working on over a dozen super-fast flight programs. Mayhem, a clandestine Air Force program that tests new jet engines, is associated with the Sur-72. These engines are unique in that they can operate normally, enabling the plane to land and resume use. Experts believe that this could have significant implications for defense and aviation transport. No country has installed a scramjet, which is a form of super-fast engine. The United States has yet to launch a rocket or jet, but it is making every effort. In 2021, Northrop Grumman successfully tested a scramjet for the DARP Hawk program. In 2022, Lockheed Martin was also successful in testing super-fast technologies. The Mayhem project is similar to the Hawk, but they are currently working out how to employ a standard jet engine without making the plane too heavy or blocking the powerful engine. The United States is at the forefront of developing invisible technologies, monitoring other countries, and developing detection methods. The Mayhem project and other ultra-fast planes aren't concerned about being invisible. Instead, they aspire to soar through the air. This speed enables them to enter enemy territory, collect data, attack targets, and then quickly fly away. Another essential aspect of these super-fast jets is where they store their weaponry. Furthermore, because the planes travel at speeds ranging from Mach 5 to 6, their surfaces must withstand high temperatures. Not only the materials, but also the electronics, must operate at high speeds during the flight, maintaining stable connections for accurate maneuvers and coping with defense systems. One challenge is developing an engine suitable for planes such as the Sur-72. Another issue is expense. Hypersonic missiles could be quite pricey. Estimates place the cost between $90 and $110 million, while a current stealth fighter costs $80 million. This is far pricier than the last Blackbird, which cost only $23 million in the 1960s. The SR-72 could differ. The former CEO of Lockheed believes it will be similar in size to the F-22 Raptor and cost less than $1 billion. While this is not proven, it's important to note that the futuristic B-21 Raider bomber will likely cost $700 million per unit. People are eagerly anticipating the return of SR-72 due to the upcoming Top Gun movie sequel in 2022. It included a swift plane named Dark Star, which is comparable to what the Skunk Works division is working on. Later, Lockheed Martin's official website included information about this incident. What makes the SR-72 superior to the SR-71? Designers intended the Sur-71, also known as the Blackbird, to fly swiftly at speeds faster than Mach 3. It carried 2 people on board, a pilot in the front, and a surveillance officer in the back. To blend in with the night sky, they painted the plane midnight blue, giving it the nickname Blackbird. To evade detection, the SR-71 flew extremely high and quickly. The device's radar tricks and dark hue made it difficult for enemies to locate. The SR-71 was frequently able to fly faster or avoid missiles fired at it. Titanium and special materials primarily made up the plane's body. Lockheed, the corporation that manufactured it, encountered hurdles since titanium is expensive and corrosive. Flying at high temperatures necessitated specialized designs, such as wing portions that could expand without breaking. When the plane heated up in the air, the body panels, which had been weakly attached on the ground, fit together properly. A titanium frame supported the quartz front pane of the cockpit. The plane experienced gasoline leaks on the ground as a result of heating, causing significant issues for the ground crew. The red lines on the wings indicate the areas where people should not tread. The SR-71's tires, filled with nitrogen and aluminum, cost $2,300 each and required replacement after around 20 flights. The plane landed quickly using a parachute to slow down and prevent wear on the brakes and tires. Despite its intricate design, no one ever shot down in Sur-71. Obtaining enough titanium was challenging since the United States required more. The Skunk Works crew had to track it down in other areas, including the Soviet Union. They obtained the titanium by employing third-world countries and devious methods. The Sur-71, which was largely constructed of titanium, was designed to be difficult for radar to detect. We specifically designed its shape and materials for this purpose. The plane has unique characteristics, such as sharp edges and specific materials on its skin, to absorb radar waves. They also added substances to the fuel to make the emissions less noticeable. However, Soviet radar technology advanced quicker than stealth methods. For stealth, designers added sharp edges known as Chinese. They were not part of the original design but were discovered to improve the plane's flight performance. The plane's stability at high speeds was enhanced by reducing landing speeds. The air inlets of the SR-71 were critical for quick flight. They allowed the plane to travel faster than Mach 3.2, its highest economical speed. A component known as a spike at the front of the inlets moved as the plane flew faster. This helped regulate airflow, allowing the plane to fly efficiently at high speeds. During the early flights, the computers encountered difficulties in managing the positions of the spikes, leading to various issues. Engineers corrected this by restarting the inlets and then installing an electronic mechanism to automatically resolve the problem. NASA also discovered that the Chinese impacted engine efficiency, which led to further advancements. In 1980, they replaced the previous control system with a new digital one known as DayFix. This minimized issues with the inlets and improved overall performance. Two powerful Pratt & Whitney J58 engines, which produced 32,500 pounds of thrust when not moving, powered the SR-71. These engines performed best when the plane was cruising at its normal speed of roughly Mach 3.2. When the plane took off, the afterburner produced 26% of the thrust, which increases engine power. As the plane accelerated to roughly Mach 3, the afterburner provided all of the thrust. To test how the engines worked, we first compressed and heated the air. The afterburner received some of the compressed air, while the combustion chamber mixed the remaining air with fuel. After going through the turbine, the exhaust and some compressed air entered the afterburner. At Mach 3, the temperature increase from compression lowered the fuel flow, allowed because the turbine temperature limit remained constant. The whirling equipment in the engine became less powerful, yet it was sufficient to keep the air flowing. The increase in temperature of the afterburner was now responsible for the high-speed thrust. The air temperature entering the engine, which could not exceed 800 degrees Fahrenheit, limited the plane's maximum speed. External engines initially powered the SR-71, but later researchers developed a quieter system. The SR-71 had several fuel alternatives, however. It primarily used Jeep 7, which was difficult to ignite. We used triethylbutane to start the engines, which generated the high temperatures needed to ignite Jeep 7. Upon ignition, it generated a green blaze. To decrease stress on the brakes and tires before takeoff, the SR-71 only carried a quarter tank of fuel. It reached high speeds quickly, consuming only 1/3 of its fuel. Some assumed the plane refueled immediately after takeoff due to fuel leaking. However, maximum speeds necessitated aerial refueling. Special tankers carried out in-flight refueling for long flights. The plane's navigation system tracked stars through a window and corrected inaccuracies with celestial measurements. A former pilot stated that the technique was accurate enough to reduce drift to 1,000 feet at Mach 3. The SR-71 has numerous tools and systems for its tasks. It featured cameras, radar, and electronic intelligence devices. The radar systems later received upgrades with more advanced technology, and the cameras could capture images from various locations on the plane. The plane also has countermeasure devices to protect against potential threats. This could disrupt messages and mislead adversary systems. During flights, the crew wore special suits designed to withstand extreme altitudes and temperatures. Because they couldn't use traditional masks, scientists developed pressurized suits to provide enough oxygen. The cockpit has a cooling mechanism to deal with the severe heat of high-speed missions. During long missions, the crew members had access to food and beverages. They used straw-filled containers to fit into their helmets. Overall, the SR-71 successfully completed its mission using a variety of technologies, but its discontinuation in 1989 was partly due to its high cost and the belief that alternative reconnaissance methods were improving. This is what the Air Force informed Congress. However, there were doubts about whether internal Pentagon politics, rather than a genuine need for the aircraft, drove the decision. Some contended that the SR-71 possessed unique intelligence capabilities that satellites U-2s and UAVs lacked. At the time, the Air Force authorities made efforts to convince Congress and the armed services that the SR-71 was redundant. Despite this, others believe that these statements were more of a sales pitch than actual facts. The Air Force may have viewed the SR-71 as a bargaining chip to protect other key projects. The leaders in charge thought other agencies would benefit more from the intelligence the SR-71 program produced. Dick Cheney informed the Senate that a misunderstanding about aerial surveillance and a lack of knowledge about the SR-71 led to efforts to discredit it, with promises of a replacement in the works. The SR-71 cost $85,000 per hour to operate, but opponents estimated the cost of support to be substantially higher. The SR-71 outperformed the U-2 in terms of range, speed, and durability, but lacked the data link that the U-2 possessed. This meant that we had to wait until the SR-71 returned to base to use the data in real time. This shortcoming provided a reason to discontinue the program. Some stated that the absence of improvements made it appear old, benefiting those advocating for alternative solutions. Groups in the Pentagon and Congress thwarted attempts to add a data link because they wanted to terminate the program. Even though Congress appropriated monies in 1988 to keep 6 SR-71s operating, the Air Force did not use them. 1989 marked the decision to remove the SR-71 from active duty. After the last missions in October of that year, General Schwarzkopf discovered during Operation Desert Storm that the SR-71's ability to offer rapid reconnaissance was no longer accessible. In October 1989, the SR-71 program's primary operational capabilities came to an end, and the squadron disbanded in mid-1990, relocating the aircraft to display areas or storing them in reserve. Concerns over political events in the Middle East and North Korea prompted the United States Congress to re-examine the SR-71 in 1993. Rear Admiral Thomas F. Hall claimed that the SR-71's discontinuation was due to its inability to meet the rapid demands of modern warfare. They believed that using technology to obtain data in real time would better meet the tactical commander's specific requirements. They were also looking into alternative ways to do the SR-71's task. Mackey briefed the committee that they deployed U-2's RC-1s, 135s, and other assets to gather data in some locations. Senator Robert Byrd and others expressed disappointment over the lack of a successor to the SR-71, arguing that it was just as effective. They said that developing an aircraft with the same capabilities as the SR-71 would be difficult in an era of restricted military funds. Congress was dissatisfied by the lack of a suitable replacement for the SR-71, which influenced decisions to finance image sensors on the U-2. They added $100 million to the budget to put 3 SR-71s back into service, but then reduced it to $72.5 million. The Skunk Works, which was in charge of the aircraft, was able to return it to service for $72 million less than budget. Former USAF Colonel Jay Murphy oversaw Lockheed's reactivation plans, while retired USAF Colonels Don Emmons and Barry McKean handled logistics and support structures. We requested active USAF pilots and reconnaissance systems officers with SR-71 flying experience to volunteer to fly the resurrected aircraft. The 9th E Reconnaissance Wing at Beale Air Force Base supervised the aircraft, which it operated from a rebuilt hangar at Edwards Air Force Base. Modifications enabled near real-time transmission of advanced synthetic aperture radar imagery to ground stations. Bringing back the SR-71 presented numerous hurdles. The Air Force did not account for it in their budget, and developers of unmanned aerial vehicles feared that their programs would suffer if funding went to the SR-71s. Congress was required to authorize funds on an annual basis, making long-term planning for the SR-71 difficult. In 1996, the Air Force requested more specific funding and attempted to halt the program. Congress approved the funds, but in 1997, President Bill Clinton attempted to use his line-item veto to reject the $39 million budgeted for the SR-71. In 1998, the U.S. Supreme Court declared the line-item veto unconstitutional. The Air Force's request to redirect the funds elsewhere in September 1998 cast doubt on the SR-71's future. In 1998, the Air Force formally decommissioned the SR-71. NASA utilized the latter 2 Blackbirds until 1999. All other Blackbirds are currently housed in museums, with the exception of 2 SR-71s and a few D-21 drones housed at NASA Dryden Flight Research Center. For a while, no plane could match the SR-71 could. The SR-72 is a brand new product. As countries like Russia and China grow stronger, the United States requires an unstoppable aircraft like the Blackbird, which is why we have the SR-72. Thank you for watching.